Hey, welcome to my studio. I thought it was time to maybe take a look behind the scenes of the studio that I have and share a little bit of my journey from trying to get a better picture through to probably something that's a little bit of overkill. Hi, I'm Mark Bilton. I'm a leadership advocate, a facilitator, a strategic advisor, and I sit on a bunch of boards and chair a couple. So I have a portfolio life, but I really spend most of my time with leaders, with business owners and CEOs, helping them be the best that they can be, helping their organizations thrive, create wealth, and leave a legacy. I was in a meeting with Southeast Asian business leaders the other day, and we were halfway through just starting to get to know each other and starting to do a few communication starters. And one guy said, "Hey, stop. I need to know how you're doing what you're doing. How are you getting that sound, that image, those logos? How are you doing that?" I'm a baby boomer. He was a millennial, so I took great delight in teaching this millennial about the technology that I needed to be able to deliver what I'm delivering. One of the problems I had early on was just getting a good sound. The sound that you get from the microphones from laptops, even good ones, just a bit limited. I tried headphones, tried a few other little things, but decided let's go the full 9 yards. So I've settled with these Rode microphones. They're really good ones, shotgun mics. We'll put the models in the description. They just really crystal clear sound. I tried a couple of other mics, but really settled on these Rodes. So I have two. I have one for this station here, which is mainly my Zoom and one-on-one with people, some of the leadership meetings, but also for my video work, where I prefer a standing position. Then I have one up here. And these are supported. I have a K&N telescopic tripod so that I can just move things in and out on the boom. And then I have this giant one here, which is an engineering feat, which I love. I think it's fantastic, fantastic looking piece of kit, which means I can stretch it right out over the top from wherever I'm standing. So down here in my stack, we have a number of components. So we have the mic coming in through this digital amplifier, mic amplifier through here. We have a compressor and limiter just to take some of the edge off and help that sound just really sound really good, compress it up nicely. We have an equalizer, probably a little bit of overkill for what I need, but it looks great in the rack. And then this is a stereo output so that we can make sure that all those things are going out through two channels. And the way that I've done this is I've set up one side for each microphone, so I'm not using it as an interview setup. I'm using it as a separate setup, so I don't have to keep changing mics and changing things around. So one side for each of those setups, and then out through the stereo, and then into this setup here, which I'll talk a little bit about coming up next. Okay, let's have a look at video. Starting with cameras, and then what we do with those signals and how we manage those. So this little troublemaker over here, this Brio webcam, was my first attempt at how do I get a better looking image and so I can relate better to my clients online. So whether it's a group of leaders or a one-on-one with a CEO, a strategy day, whatever, I needed something that would really give good imagery. So I tried this webcam. It's actually pretty good. Like for a webcam, it's great. But this started the whole journey of how good can I get this, and we've sort of upgraded from there, which I'll show you now. So this is the Canon M6 Mark II, and it's a great camera. It's a mirrorless camera, but I wanted a really good lens to put on it. So I actually have I have an adapter which allows me to put a better that's a Sigma lens on there, so it's 22mm Sigma lens with a nice f1.4, so I can get a nice foggy background. Love that lens, it's a great lens. These other two cameras are the same. These are Olympus cameras, so I've settled with these Olympus OMD cameras, and they're fantastic. They're really good, and again, gone for really nice lenses. So I have a 16mm 1.4 here, and a slightly longer lens, a 25mm, and but f1.2 for that camera there. These are also on a battery pack, so that I don't have to put batteries in. That actually allows me to put AC power directly into the camera, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I've just got HDMI outs for both those, all those three cameras. You might have noticed there's a couple of things on the end of the cameras here. This is a Parrot podcaster. It means I can just put my mobile phone, my Apple iPhone, in underneath there, so I can use it as a teleprompter. But the nice thing about this is, because the software I use, actually I can do an output of the video. I can put that image onto an iPad so that when I'm looking into the screen, I'm actually seeing someone's face whilst I'm talking to them. And often when we're on Zoom, we have this dislocation between where the camera is and where the image of that person is. I can bring those two things together by having an iPhone through here and running video out through there. Just a little tip, works fantastic. And so if I'm doing some one-on-one, I really want to get that eye contact, I can do it through that. This one up here, this is a larger one. This is the pad prompter. A nice bit of kit. I like this. Some of these auto cues, these teleprompters, you have the big bit of fabric over the back, and you got to move it every time you want to do anything with it. This is great. It's all in nice in one unit. You can close it up. It's a really concise and compact, nice bit of kit. Again, both these are on remotes, so I don't have to keep getting up, moving cameras around and changing things. I can use the remote to stop and start the auto cues. So nice bits of kit. And we've supported these. I have, on all these three cameras, I have some heads that I really like. They're three-way heads from Manfrotto. Again, really good quality, nicely engineered gears, ultimate adaptability. I can move the cameras wherever I want. I have them on Manfrotto 190 tripods, and also an extension arm. Again, gives me a bit more flexibility around moving them around if and when I want to do that. So well supported, good gear. I do like the Manfrotto gear. They've done a great job with their engineering, and they're just nice to use. So this is my main camera. It doesn't have any teleprompters or anything on it. That's just if I want to use Zoom. This is my go-to everyday camera for most of the things that I do. So those are the cameras, all mirrorless. You can use full DSLR, but the mirrorless I find works really well for me. Good lenses, spending the time picking lenses that are going to do the things that you want them to do, with a nice large aperture, so f1.4, f1.2 for these cameras. Really makes a difference to the image and the background, the depth of field, and it gives you a lot of latitude to play with those things. Okay, so we have a great signal coming through from our cameras. What do we then do with it? Good question. It's taken me quite a while to figure out how to do this in a way that makes sense. So I've ended up with Blackmagic gear for this, and I've found it really good. So I have a monitoring system here that we can monitor the three cameras. If I want to switch cameras, I can do that. This is all supported by a Firman power pack, just a bit of a conditioner on here. But the key for this is this eCamm HD Studio TV Studio by Blackmagic. Fantastic bit of kit. So all the audio comes into here, all the video comes into here, and I'm using that as the core for what we're doing. And then those signals can go out through the this webmaster here, web presenter, which allows the signal to go out to the internet, so we can broadcast live. We can do that if we want to do that. But also that's connected to this recorder here as well. So Blackmagic gear for recording, broadcasting, and also for managing the signals both from the cameras and from the audio. So this audio all comes into here. The videos come in through HDMI through the back. We might have a quick look at the back and show you what we've done back there. And this nice little Firman conditioner just makes sure that power is not going to do any damage to the very expensive gear that we've now collected. Just wanted to show you the back of this gig gear. These are gig gear cases. Fantastic bits of kit, actually, really good. I just wanted to insulate the sound a little bit. It also means we can move things around if we need to. So two 6RUs and one 8RU, and I've just put drawers in the bottom of that. That means I can store gear. So this looks very simple at the back here. Underneath it is a sea of wires. Took me forever to work it out. Got a little bit of help actually to work out how to do that, how to connect everything in a way that makes sense. But we've put external connections through here. There's a Hoser XLR port here. power conditioner for the audio, which is another art piece of kit, and then we built this custom one here with various connectors. So we can connect our 3 cameras in through here. We can 2 microphones come in through here, out through back into this back into the eCamm HD TV studio. So all the inputs are now external. We can move them around if we want to, change cables if we want to. And then I just have a little Ethernet D-Link as well, just to connect through to the internet, keep that signal nice and tight, not relying on Wi-Fi. So I wanted to show you the back. I'm actually really proud of that. It's nice and clean. It was a bird's nest of wires, but now it looks good. So really happy with the way that has turned out. Okay, let's talk a little bit about lighting. Now, what I've done here is set up a very typical 3-point lighting. So this is my main key light. I have a fill light here that just takes the edge off the other side of the face. And then behind me, I have a backlight, which allows just to separate me a little bit from the background. And these all sit on a nice little remote here, so I can change the intensity. And on this particular light, I can change the color frequency as well. And also you can turn them all off, turn them back on. So this is my key light, this is my fill light, and then my background light, just to help sort of fill the background out and also separate me from the background. So typical lighting, I have actually put up some scrim in front of it just to soften the light. I'm an old guy, got a few wrinkles. It's good to have something that just softens that image up a little bit. Let's go behind this one here and I'll show you how we've set it up and the lights that we've used. All right, lighting. I discovered these auto poles. I've fallen in love with these things. What an awesome bit of kit. No tripod. They're made by Manfrotto. They have a lever here. I can just pop it up to the ceiling, and it's solid enough to hold lights, microphones. Just a really good bit of kit. Nicely designed, beautifully engineered, and really like that. Now what I've done here is hung some scrim off the front, just with a Light Pro. I think it's a 1.1 by 1.1. Just reduces the stop by about 3/4, and just nice little bit of ripstop fabric just helps sort of diffuse things a little bit, soften the light. These are a great light. This is the Amran lights. There's the Tri-8s, and very adjustable. You can do it on the remote, as I was showing you before. I've just put the aperture box on the front there just for a diffuser, but it's not quite enough. Hence we put up the second scrim. So really adjustable light. It's all on the remote. Very powerful. Does everything I want it to do, and certainly for my purposes, great bit of kit. Tried a couple of other lights first, but really settled on these. Very nice bit of gear. Let's talk a little bit about the environment that you sit yourself in. Backgrounds are important. So this is my background here, and spend a bit of time thinking about the best way to set it up. I needed something for direct to standing up and making sure there's something in the background there, and also when I'm sitting down with Zoom, just having something in the background. And I think the balance is trying to find something with a little bit of interest, not just a blank wall, but also not so cluttered that it's distracting from what people are talking about. So it's good to have it lit a little bit, and I've just got my backlight here, just throws a little bit of light across the background, but also it separates me from the background because it just creates a little bit of a halo. So the combination of a little bit of backlight and also a nice wide aperture on the camera allows a separation, a little bit of blurring around the background, and you can see probably from this image here off the standing camera that there's a blur in the background, a little bit of interest without having too much going on. We've all sat in those meetings with people with some very strange things happening in the background, but making sure the lighting's right, making sure that you're in an environment where it's quiet, you're not going to be interrupted, you're not going to be Zoom bombed by children or dogs or noisy neighbors or whatever it might be. So finding somewhere that is relatively quiet, the light that you can control, and also a background that's nice and simple and reasonably appealing is is all part of that experience in creating the right environment. So whatever you're communicating can still get across. Talking about environment, one of the issues I have here is a lot of light coming in that changes during the day. And so I wanted to control that. A little bit of overkill, but I have these partitions which are amazing. And what these do is control the light and the sound. I can pull these across and they go the whole length of the room, totally mobile, and they're just great. So we won't set it up properly, but just you can get the idea. I can run it right across that side of the studio. I can run it right across this side, and it controls the light, controls the sound. And wherever you are, just getting control of the elements that are around you and making sure that it looks and sounds as you want it to sound. No distracting sounds, no errant light coming in from areas that you don't want it to come in from, or changing too much whilst you're on Zoom or whilst you're shooting your videos. So controlling light, controlling sound, and making sure those things are right goes a long way to creating a better environment for you to communicate your message. Okay, welcome to my desk. I actually work from here as well as do all the dealing with leaders and mentoring and strategy work. So let me explain what I've got on the desk here. Dominating this is obviously this massive 49-inch screen. It's a gaming screen, actually. Not that I do that much gaming, but it's actually great. I was going to have two separate screens, and I use this as two separate screens, but I wanted to have something that without any sort of dividing in between. So I can use them as separate screens, and I can use my laptop. So 49-inch screen. Just audio-wise, I have some Audio Engine 2 Plus speakers, which are nice, good sort of mid-range speakers. And if I'm using headphones, then I have these nice set of Audio Technica headphones, which I find the quality is awesome on those. And obviously, every machine has its core, and the core of this is this MacBook Pro. This MacBook Pro is a 8-core, 32 gig RAM, so just a really, really good top-end Mac. I love, always like the Apple gear. I'm an Apple zealot and love this gear. Also have the 4th gen iPad as well, iPad Pro, the large format one, the 12.9. And I use this a lot, not only to drive some of the gear, but also as a whiteboard. Rather than using Zoom's whiteboard, I Apple Play this through to the computer, and I can use that as a much better sort of more, gives me a bit more flexibility and a much better quality of reproduction on a whiteboard. So that's what I use for mind mapping, particularly when we're doing strategy work. So this is my setup. So I'm going to go through and just show you. This is camera 1. So we're actually on Zoom here. And you can see nice fogged out background. I'm nice and in focus in the front. We have face tracking on this camera, so you can see that even though I've got my hand there, the face will still track. But if I duck out of the way, then the focus will go to the background. So it's a nice depth of field. It keeps it nice and tight. If I switch over to this camera number 2 here, there we go, just gives you an idea of how this camera works. So same principle. It hasn't been set up in a particular way today, but it's something, again, gives the same sort of image with the nice fogged out background, and I can talk directly into the screen, as I said before, with the iPad mirroring up the output from the video. So that's quite useful. This is eCamm Live. I just wanted to take you through what it can do, just to give you a quick sort of overview. It's a great bit of kit. Does take a while to get used to it. Adrian Salisbury, if you look up Adrian Salisbury, he has some great YouTube videos and a course which I've done. Very, very well worthwhile and well communicated as well. So top left hand side here we have a number of different scenes that we can use to change the way that things that look. So this is my default scene where I'm talking to camera. I'm on Zoom. You can put this through Zoom, and you can also change. I can run, for instance, a little sting like this. if I'd want to do that. Also on Zoom, what annoys me is the static image when you pause your video is square, whereas this you can actually do something like this, which fits the format of Zoom. The other thing you can do is change logos. So this is Thought Patrol, which is my main logo. If I'm doing some teaching for an organization like YPO, I can turn Thought Patrol off, and I can put YPO on, or I chair Green Homes Australia, which is a great business, and very proud to be associated with them. Chair that business going. It's just going off actually. It's a fantastic organisation. So I can put their logo up if I'm running a board meeting online. Put their logo up like that. So you can actually do a lot with this. I've just kept it nice and simple. For instance, I have a little overlay which I use if I'm going live, which looks a bit like this. Makes it nice and simple. You can add your names on. You can do whatever you like. But the main thing that I use it for is that the virtual cam in eCamm Live means that I can look like this, sound like this with logos on Zoom or on Skype or Google or wherever, Teams, wherever you happen to be online. You can also through the camera effects, you can zoom, pan, add filters, change colors, and just augment the environment so it looks super good. So that's just a quick roundup of eCamm Live and how that works. Well, I hope you enjoyed having a look around my studio. It's been a great labour of love getting it going and pivoting from doing all my work in the real world to online has been quite a journey. It's been a great success actually. It's gone really, really well, and people often comment on the experience and just how good it is. Nothing beats face-to-face in my world, but online, if you do it right, is a very, very close second. So those key learnings again that I've learned over the last few months, and hopefully will help you deliver your message to your clients and to your stakeholders a little better. One, get the lighting right. Lighting is very important. Make sure you get the 3-point lighting. Get the environment right so that you're controlling the lighting, controlling the sound, and you're in a quiet environment with a good looking background. The sound in, so important. Invest in a microphone, whatever it is for you, whether it's just a small upgrade or whether you want to go to something a bit more professional, but upgrade your sound a bit if you can. And then the video itself, at least a good webcam, but if you can get into a DSLR then or into a mirrorless camera, that's going to go a long way to really increasing the depth of field, and it really does make a difference. People notice it. I'd recommend the software if you can go to that length. It's a bit of a learning curve. It's not expensive, but it's a bit of a learning curve. eCamm Live, well worthwhile. It can help bring all those things together. So lighting, sound, video, get the environment right. All the best for you and what you're doing. And I wish you all success in communicating online well.